Contact your head is right in the middle of the screen. Perfect. Okay, we are now live.
Okay. So hi, my name is Mirko. This is a very old website of myself, but actually this website, my domain is schremmit.de, schremmit.de. You see, it's not schremmit.de, it's innovativ.de. It's I'm redirecting to a site of my friend. So actually, I want to build a new website, and I started this week, or actually today, built this Meteor app, and I want to present you the Meteor app. So actually, I'm planning to build a new website because first of all, I want to have my own schremmit.de domain, and yeah, this website, well, it's very old. But actually he's always writing some kind of stuff in it. You see, there's a news. This is the guy I'm working with. Actually, I want to have a new website, and I get some inspiration. That's why I opened this one. I think this is a quite cool website. It's made totally in JavaScript. You see that animation. It's yeah, describing some kind of material interaction, material design interaction, all these fading stuff and whatever. And I want to have this same look and feel into my website according to material design. Well, I'm not the biggest fan of material design, but I want to make a website where I can show what I can do building websites and building web apps. So I decided to make something like a website which also has some material design characters. So actually in the morning I was doing this. He was working only with, does anybody know this library GreenSocks or whatever, where you can animate a lot? So he's doing this with GreenSocks, but I don't like, on a normal website, I don't like to have all these kind of, so yeah, exactly. So when you turn off JavaScript, you don't see anything. So I was building the whole stuff in CSS today in the morning. The same, but with CSS, we can have a look on the CSS. So when you turn on JavaScript in here, should work. Yeah. So there's no GreenSocks, whatever stuff. But actually, I don't like the color. So I was working. This is another way. Actually, I also don't like the color, but I want to show some kind of what I do. So I'm a web developer. I don't know what I will write here, but first of all, some of my special things. So what I do and what my wife does and what my company does will show here. The main thing is what I'm doing today, and what I will show you is I want to build a web testing, whatever. Because at the moment there are a lot of WordPress sites out there, and a lot of these sites are using some kind of free templates and whatever, and all these templates are, in my opinion, not the best. So there are HTML validation errors, page speed is not fine, and whatever. So I want to show them, well, check your website, get instruction how to fit the things that you should do on your website, and if you need help, you can contact me. And in the same, I would like to show what I can do. So it's a personal website for me to get a new contract, whatever. But actually, I have to do a lot, so the design is bullshit, you know. So today I was writing a Meteor app, and I had some trouble connecting to the PageSpeed API. So my app will use some external APIs like PageSpeed Insight or G3 Metrics or YSlow or whatever. Maybe the or World Wide Web 3 validator for validating HTML and whatever, and maybe also some node packages. There's a node package called Process whatever, where you can write your own web crawler and check a lot of things within. So, but actually it was only one day. I'm a little bit drunk. Well, I was a little bit drunk, and my brain is not the best at the moment. So, but I think I can show you something. So actually, this is, at the moment, this is a very basic thing. You can enter your URL up there. I can show you the code. You don't have to enter HTTP or whatever. Just enter something, whatever, test.de, or no, let's make another site. No, come on, test.de. And then you hit enter. So in the moment you hit enter, it's automatically updated before it sends to the server on the client side. So you see I can show, I can enter another domain, whatever, Spiegel. At the moment, it's directly in the refreshed on the client side. Then it's transmitted to the server. The URL is the HTTP is appended to the URL, and then I do some tests. And at the moment, I can only show the result in the console. So I'm connecting to the page speed API, and I get the page speed result of that website in here. So when I enter another site, let's do it with, come on, give me a site. Gina.net. Okay, enter and check it here. Gina.net, we will see it here. And then he's saying some score on the desktop is of 100 points. You got 74, and in the usability 69. We can also have a look in page speed. So I'm actually parsing all these things, and I want to store them now in the MongoDB. I'm using a MongoDB, and I want to use another wrapper and additional APIs to get all this information and to show them what is going on your website and what is good on your website and how can you do your website better. That's the thing. So if you have any questions, I can show you. It's a very simple Meteor. So I'm using Atom for this, or Atom. I don't know what is the English name. Atom. You know Atom. So yeah, exactly. So I love this editor. I have to say I was always using NetBeans or PHP, WebStorm or whatever, all these kind of things. But actually, this is a very cool editor. He's fucking fast. So everybody who's using NetBeans or Eclipse or whatever, there's always some kind of background synchronizing. And if you're working with nodes and you got a lot of node modules into it, takes so long. So I love this. Actually, it's very simple to write a Meteor app. You have some client, you have some server stuff. Everything you put in the client, it's available for the client. Everything you put in on the server, in the server folder is available on the server. You only write JavaScript. So normally when I build website, I'm always using this approach. First, build your HTML structure. Your website always should work without JavaScript. And on the top for the action or whatever, you can use JavaScript, but actually my websites normally are working also without JavaScript. But for this one, I want to use Meteor. It's a fan fact because I want to learn Meteor. I was building the last 2 years only web apps, but without Meteor, and I should use this 3 years ago because it's fucking fast. Yeah, so this is what I did today. Writing a single Meteor app connecting to a page speed API. So I can show you here. I got my collections. When I enter the website, enter a website. The entered website data is stored in here. Where is it? So where is Gina? Let's have a look. It must be Gina at the last. No, it's before. I don't know. Somewhere is Gina. I don't know. We have to have a look. So I'm storing this, and I want to store also the result of the page speed API in there. So I was writing a schema for websites and some insert handler for inserting the website into MongoDB, and afterwards I'm calling the page speed API in here. And this is a function here. I wrote an asynchronous API call where I simply entered the domain, give the domain to the page speed API, entered the domain he entered, or appended the domain he entered, and then get the response. That's all. Very simple, but actually, yeah, there's a lot to do. There's a lot to do, but I'm very happy that it works at the moment. So that's all.
Cool. Thank you.
Should I run another speed test? So it's the same. It's the same. Maybe you know this site. I got it open here. You know the site Page Speed Insight. So just give you the Page Speed Insight is kind of gives you some information about the website. We also can enter here Gina.com. .com?
Net.
.net, sorry. It takes a while because he's also doing some images and he's checking the mobile. There we see the same result. We see, yeah, you didn't prioritize your above the fold stuff, so there's no, forget it. I don't care about this, but you can optimize your optimize your image here. You will save. So if you need some, if you compromise, you can optimize it. Compress your image exactly, and you can do a lot of other things. But I want to make this a little bit beautiful on my website, and I want to give another stuff like whatever is correct HTML, correct CSS, and all these stuff is GZIP activated on whatever. So actually, I would like to make this much more beautiful and give advices how you can optimize your website. But this page speed test, you have to know it. It's I think it's a little bit misunderstanding, or my English is not so good, but we got this problem 2 hours ago. There was one guy who also got perfect results. Both results were more than 90 points of 100 on the mobile and on the desktop, but actually he was loading very big images, but only showed the small images. So the real time on first view, opening this page on the first view was about 20 seconds, and that's much too, so that's too long. Yeah, but actually he gets good points in here, so you have to, yeah, whatever. So that's what I plan.
Very cool.
Okay, for the
What's your personal site again?
At the moment, so my personal site is Shremet.de. I want to make a brand. So when you analyze your website, I want to I want to call it Shremet. Let's Shremet. I don't know if it's a good plan, but but there's a redirect. So my last name is Schramm. So, and I want to call it Let's Shremet to analyze your website. So that's the plan, but I don't know if it's good.
who's going to demo next?
I can go.
Okay.
Right. But I need someone who is able to do likes. Is someone able
I can do likes.
Okay, great. Perhaps you could like the picture. But not right now.
Not right now.
So, yeah.
Okay.
But you can open it and
The latest picture.
yeah. By the way, if anyone wants to help take notes in IRC, it would be greatly appreciated. People should in IRC, on IndieWebCamp on Freenode. So that makes sense. It's not to work. Who's not on IRC and wants to be on IRC? Let's start with that. Are you on Freenode? IRC.freenode.net? No IRC client? Sorry? You gonna get that tomorrow?
Do you have a Slack app right now?
Slack? Oh, do you use Slack?
No.
Okay. Go to IndieWebCamp.com/IRC/today. Does he need the question mark beta still?
No.
That's okay. And then lower left corner, there should be a join button. So that's the code I wrote today on the right. It's super bad. I just wanted to try if it's how it works, because what it does is actually every 5 seconds it gets this URL from my website, which then gets back a list of web mentions which happened in between, so like after the last time I got any web mention. Yeah, so if everything works and Aaron
Would you
can
like me to like a post?
Oh wait, stop! Oh damn it!
Oh.
You won't see the result because it's on this page. So, settings.
Okay. Okay. Ready?
No. So let's make this primary.
Oh.
Because so this should work. Keep changes. Now hopefully.
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. There it goes. And how often does it check?
5 seconds. So.
Come on.
Nothing else. No. Let's see what's happening. So the whole website is just white, so there's nothing here. Okay, didn't work. So I will try it myself because perhaps my code is better. I don't know. If I do this, then if I perhaps if I like this,
Oh.
yeah.
Oh, nice.
I wonder why it didn't work with
I think you
yours.
didn't find my author photo.
Oh, damn it. So I just tested one happy case.
Yep.
Because I didn't have time for more. But that's basically what it does. So it's the first step. I did it like Barnaby did, just to get something working today. At least I know how to use the notification stuff, which is fairly easy. New notification, and then you give it what to show. So I show the icon of the author and an excerpt if there is one. If not, then the URL, and in the title, the name of the author and what it was, like if it's a picture or note or something, and so on. So yeah, that's basically it.
We need other people to help with note taking at IRC. If you want volunteers.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
Anyone
Oh.
else? Maybe Gina, since you just demoed.
Yeah.
Can you get on IRC? Oh,
That's why I think but it should be now.
Okay, so I primarily worked with trying to get the Spot Zero working today, but that turned out to be horribly complex. So I did something a bit simpler instead. I implemented a local storage-based IndieConfig page, which everyone can use to set up their own IndieConfig using local storage. And just to demo how that works, I haven't got a config set up right now. So if I go to my own page and press reply, then it won't find anything. So it will fall back to Twitter. If I have added reply and Quill here. If I save that, I can also register this as an application handler. If I now refresh this one and go to reply, it will open this. This is just Firefox. So first time it will fail because it will time out because of that. But now it will remember it forever. So now the next time I press reply, I go to Quill. And I can do the same. I can also take this favorite thing and I can enter like and URL, save that. And now if I go to my blog again and go and press like, then I get, and this is also linked to my, since Quill is a micropub endpoint, if I were to post this, it would post it to my own site right away. So this is, everyone can use this. It's at voxbelly.com/demo/indie-config, and it will save it locally in your own machine. So it will be pretty quick, I hope, and then you can point it to
browser. It's on a per browser basis.
Yeah, because it's local storage based. But it's a very simple way for people to get started with IndieConfig.
Fantastic.
And there's a page on the wiki if you want to implement these buttons yourself on your own blog. There's some JavaScript that does the IndieConfig for you.
On the IndieConfig page?
Yeah. I think that is the case. If one go here, then it says this you don't have to care about. And then how to consume, then there's a link to the IndieConfig, this polyfill and the web action polyfill, and then one just includes them, and then we can actually take a quick look just because people haven't often looked at how these things work, but these are, this is how the code actually looks. So it's in the action tag, which then the polyfill, the web action polyfill enhances to actually do the stuff that it's supposed to do. So it's some web component kind of thing. Not really web components, but kind of web components.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have one question. So when you validate this with the validator, will it report
No.
errors or how does
It should work because it's the dash. Jeremy.
hyphen in there is, you're going to make up a new element? That's okay, but you have to put a hyphen.
So it's kind of namespace and element.
So if I'm publishing the action tags, what is the polyfill I have to include?
You have to include, if you want to use my stuff, then you have to include both the web action JS and the IndieConfig.js. The IndieConfig is for the IndieConfig part, and the web action polyfill uses the IndieConfig part. But if one wants to use IndieConfig for something else, if one wants to use another polyfill for the web action, then one can use the IndieConfig part standalone, just to load the config.
What if I want to use it with the local storage that you just implemented?
Oh, then you just pick those two. Those are actual files that I use on my. If we go to this, it's actually the one that is used on my site. It's directly linked to my blog repository.
To the repo?
Yeah.
To the latest version. So we can hot link the version in GitHub? Is that what you're doing?
No, it's actually in part of,
master.
yeah, it's building my GitHub page. It's actually building it. But you should probably download it rather than referencing my web page.
Cross-site scripting? No.
Yeah.
I trust your scripts.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Yeah.
Cool.
Maybe I can go next. So let's see. Get this working. So
Two scripts. I'm trying to find them. I just want to make sure we link to exactly where.
automatically.
Is it how to consume?
So it should work.
Because I'm publishing, I'm not consuming. You see what I'm saying? I want to make the indie action tag work. That's a publishing thing, not a consuming thing.
Well, it's the consuming thing of the config.
Don't get a signal, as it seems.
So yeah, I have the same thing.
Okay.
Remove the cable.
Yeah.
Okay.
No signal.
Your
Anyone?
display settings or something.
Display settings. Here we go.
There should be a detect displays button or menu item.
It's a Chromebook actually. So.
It knows how it works.
Only detected the eternal display. Actually.
If you have it online, probably lend someone else's computer.
Yeah, do you need a computer or is it just online somewhere? I can borrow this one.
I can show it. I can show it online as well, I guess.
This should work.
No, it's on. It's running on this proxy, so
Oh, it is.
I can show the results online. Maybe you can use two computers at once, one for showing the results, and I run the other stuff on here. So
I can show
okay.
you.
Okay. So.
Same again. So okay.
Eric, can you check the video?
So what should I open?
Sorry, just
The screen's
just
super
have to,
washed out, unfortunately.
just have to set up some things, but
Yeah, I can't handle the contrast.
Contrast between what and what?
Between it's trying to adjust for faces.
What if we move that closer?
Yeah, if we move this closer, it might have to go on like on a chair right up there.
Okay.
It's a really wide angle.
Like this.
Try that. A little bit out to the right, and then up. It bends on the camera plastic part, pulls apart. Grab the top. Just grab the top of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then down a little bit. Yeah. It's a little better.
So
Yeah.
here.
So you have to watch there.
Okay. Okay, great. So this is awkward. Yeah, I'm Björn, and I currently use an app called Day One, which
What's your personal site and Twitter for the logs?
my personal site is known.stierand, STIERAND.org, and my Twitter handle is EgoExpress. And I'm currently using this. That's actually not day1.com, so it's day1app.com. Oh, great. This is a software which I use to write diary. So, and it's completely Mac-based, and recently changed its syncing algorithm. So it's all closed and somewhere we're in the cloud. So what I use this for is not to write my diary by hand, but I try to aggregate all the stuff I do around the web, the stuff I listen to on Last.fm, and the beers I drink, which I log on Untapped, and all the stuff, and to gather all this and put it in there. There's a tool for this, which is called Sifter Redux. That's a kind of awkward name. Redux. Let's see if I find it. And what it does, it's over here on GitHub. And what it does, you for everything you log on a service, maybe on an Untapped or on Last.fm, you make an action on IFTTT on the web service, which glues different services together. And this action writes some code in a file which lives in Dropbox. So in the end, you get big log files in Dropbox with all your actions in there. And Sifter Redux then downloads these files, processes them, generates the day entries, and puts them back in this day one service. And I wanted to do this with my own site. I have a known site running, and so I and it's written in Ruby. I actually haven't written anything in Ruby till today, so I wasted like 1.5 hours to get this stuff up and running because somehow Ruby seems to have implemented frozen objects, which this thing doesn't handle as well. So what I have running now is, so let's go to my site first. So here we go. So this is my site. Just a standard Naren instance. And what I do now in the background, because I can't do all the logging stuff on the other computer, is I got a video open on YouTube, and I like this video, so I put a like here, and then my IFTTT workflow grabs this like and puts it in the day1 file. So this runs in the background now. And then I start the script, which currently runs locally on my computer. So where it is? Here it is. So, and now the script downloads these files from Dropbox and uses the known API, the post request, which contains the process stuff from this sifter tool, and now creates a currently pretty ugly status entry. So it currently runs. And in the end, what I get is for every day, I get this currently status update. I want to change this to the type entry, which known has as well. So now it should be finished, and we have to refresh over here. So let's see. There's something shows up. Here we go. So I see got a phone call today, did some tweets, watched some videos, and this rendering here is done by Known inside. So there's a video of this guy you probably know. And yeah, well, that's it for today. It looks pretty ugly for now because Known strips all the HTML stuff inside. So I get pretty plain text and no links for now. But let's see if I can fix this up and make this a little bit more user-friendly, and maybe the Known API also supports to set this posts to private. So maybe I don't want everyone to see my journal entries. And yeah, that's it.
What was the domain again? Sorry, I missed it. It was too fast.
Sorry, I put it in the IRC
Channel?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Right. Yeah. Can I use someone's laptop?
Yes. Take that one off.
Yeah.
Hope that works.
So yeah, hi, I'm Frederick Marx. My Twitter handle is Frederick Marx. That's Frederick with a C and Marx as in Marxism. And my there you go. And my URL is at marx.com. Today I wanted to build a static site. Well, I already have a static site, but I wanted to add web mentions to it, and that's what I did, thanks to Pelly's really nice service. I see where I can. There you go. So I don't have web mentions on my homepage, but if I go to, there you go. When I go to this this node, what I've added here is the reference. No, the reference to Pelly's web mention service. That's how if someone links to my site, they will find this, discover this web mention service, and we go there. And what I do then is use some JavaScript to it's also provided by Pelle to render these reactions, which is really cool. It was really easy to do that. I just need to sign up at the service and add these snippets to my code. That was pretty cool. I also managed to implement a really simple service worker. So if I can just if I go offline and I reload the page, it's still there. And also if I go to the article, it all comes from cache. And luckily I'll be able to attend IndieWebCamp in Düsseldorf too in a few, weeks, months, whatever. And hopefully until then I will be able to add some UI to this and make it look a bit nicer and add some content maybe too. So yeah, that's it from me.
Brilliant. Awesome.
So if I want to like something, so it would show up on your page? How would they,
Yeah.
what should I like?
Right now it's just this one article. Wait a second. It's fmarks.com/notes/webmentions.
I see.
And there's a training slash. I don't know. This might be important. It's not okay. Okay. Ah, there you go. Perfect. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
I know him.
So my name is Stefan. I'm webgefrickelt, and today first I tried to get the service worker running on my local system, and I failed because I first had to get the self-signed certificate in SSL from my local dev environment, but it didn't work out, and I wasted about 2 hours on that. But now my dev environment is running on SSL. Here we go. And then I implemented the service worker as well on here. And if I deactivate the network, it's still there. And I implemented a custom offline page. And for the work page, if I reload with all the images, I also implemented the fallback image that Jeremy had in his blog. And one thing I did, because I built all my stuff with Gulp, the whole front-end process, I wrote a small Gulp task to update my service worker. So every time I do a, I don't know, npm version patch stuff, it bumps my npm package JSON one version up, and then I do a gulp copy service worker. And all the other stuff, and then I commit, and then I deploy. And we before had a service worker here that created the cache 2.03, and I just now did my usual workflow, the npm version stuff, add, and then deploy it to my server. And now it's getting the new script, and after it got the new script, that's how the service worker did load the new script, then doesn't work
I
as
guess
expected.
I guess I committed.
The committee works.
Yeah, I think it
Committed was about.
Oh, nice.
That message was interpreted as empty.
Yay. And then, oh, I don't push, I deploy it. Yeah, I deploy to production.
You might need to close the tab with this service, the old service work. Really? No.
But that's not how it should work.
Yeah.
It works. The usual, it doesn't work when you show it stuff. Well, as you can see nothing. No, it didn't do nothing. Okay.
It's 2.04.
Oh, there it is. So it's
So why isn't 2.03 in the cache?
It was 2.03 when first started,
No, on the right side in the cache.
no, the cache is still 2.03. And there's the 2.04. So basically, problem I ran into is caching because I wanted to do caching, and it's not a good workflow at all. But I have to figure out how I can, I don't know, cache bust service worker and throw all the other caches away and tell him you have to get a new service worker script. Because if I then here update the assets in the cache, I always throw the JavaScript and CSS in there, and if I change something in CSS, it would be in there for eternity if I don't cache bust it.
Wouldn't it be easier to use the URL as a special path with a hash of the file? So if the file changes, the hash also changes. So instead of the main.me, you would add the hash of the file.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I could do, I don't know, small Apache rewrite or something, Nginx rewrite. Throw the version number in there and just strip it and serve it as the same file basically, but use it under a different name. Yeah, yeah. So that's the one thing, and then I also tried to implement web mentions on my page, which kind of works. At least I can receive some. So there are here. I poked around to throw web mention at this page. Still not really fully fledged out. I used the Kirby web mentions plugin. Bastian Allgeier, the creator of Kirby, did on the last webcam. But I think it uses a very old version of the microformat parser, and so I have to update that, fork the hell out of it, and try to get things working and sending web mentions as well, which is not working.
What was Kirby again?
It's a file-based CMS, so no database. You only have markdown files, and it's creating new stuff out of it. Yeah. That's it.
Cool. That guy wants to go. You don't want to show your service? Well, just another server working offline. I'll show that later. My name is Jeremy. The domain is adactio.com. Hi, Jeremy. Adactio on Twitter.
So yesterday we had a really good discussion, I thought, about home pages, and we were kind of comparing what some silos do on your profile pages. And something I liked was that, you know, they kind of call out a lot of information about your history, you know, what you've been up to there. And the one I particularly liked, looking at it yesterday, was GitHub, how it's got this visual representation of your interaction with the service basically over time, not just numbers. So I like how something like that actually on my homepage. Something I particularly like is sparklines. Oops. There we go. I've used before on this profile page, where it's basically here's the activity in words, and here it is in with a little sparkline next to it. I thought it might be fun to do that on my own site. So that's what I'm working on. Here's the kind of small screen view where it goes horizontal, so your classic sparkline thing. On the larger screen, it kind of expands out, and I put them side by side. Yeah, and that's pretty much it.
Could you talk a bit on how you do the sparkline?
Sure. So the sparkline, each sparkline is an SVG, and the SVG itself, if you look at this, is the SVG file. The SVG stuff ends here, and then the rest of it is a script, because as well as being an image format, an SVG is also a document. Which means you could actually put a style sheet in an SVG.
So where does it get the data?
It gets the data from a query string. So
I see.
if I inspect the element, see what I'm doing is there's an embed element.
But
So-
query strings not limited in size?
Yeah, so I've gone for 100. I was doing 50.
Oh, so you don't do everything?
No,
Okay.
no. So what I did, I go to my database, I get all the posts ever published, and then I run it through this thing which basically gets, it's divide that time period into whatever, initially 50, then I said 100, sort of equal chunks, then get a number for how many in that chunk of time. 50 was okay, but I found 100 got a little higher resolution. So the ones I was showing you from the other website, this is with 50, and it's enough for this because there's generally too much activity. But I decided on my own website it was a bit nicer to have even more. Maybe 100's pushing it. Maybe I'll reduce it, split the difference and say 75. So I pass in 75 numbers. And the way the script works, and I did not write this script, there's a bit of a story behind where the script came from. The way the script works is it's all relative, effectively. So you just pass it in a series of numbers, and it figures out, and those numbers could begin with 1,000 and end with 3,000. It'll still figure out what's the variation, or they could begin with 1 and end with 10, and it'll figure it out. It's really, really nifty. What happens? I had initially written a sparkline thing for this other website I run, Huffduffer, and I'd written it in Canvas. I did a blog post because originally I was using Google Charts. They allowed you to do Canvas, and it was really, really useful. So of course they deprecated it. Can't rely on anybody, right? So I had to write my own, and I wrote it in Canvas, and I did a blog post saying, here, I've made a Canvas sparkline. It's okay, but it shouldn't really be Canvas. It should be
Yeah, because you
SVG.
want it to go.
Exactly. It should be responsive. You want the retina aspect. But I didn't know SVG well enough to do it. And my friend Stuart Langridge basically said, here you go. Like within half an hour of me publishing the blog post right there, I made you one. And it's brilliant. And so you can just drop it in and it'll just work wherever you want. So that's what I did for the sparklines. For the layout, I've been messing around with Flexbox. So you get different, because actually in the source order, What I actually wanted to say is, for example, 63 articles or 2,223 notes. But for display, I think this looks nicer. So using Flexbox to shift things around, say, well, put this bit first, that bit second. Because something I have to kind of bear in mind on my site whenever I'm messing around is that this view is only one particular view of my site, and I have well, I can do it in another browser. I have these other views, so at least I have to make sure it doesn't look too shit in those other views. So there, it's just like, okay, it's a list with text and a sparkline, so kind of your classic sparkline view. And once I establish, okay, that's the baseline in all these other themes, but I'm going to go a bit crazy in my default theme and make it look really nice. If I have time, I could go back to those other themes, but they're mostly for archive reasons. I just need to make sure it doesn't look completely shit in those. Yeah.
Well, I find I would kind of like to know, so from when to when those are or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It won't look good to just put a year number there, but somehow it's.
Yeah, and the other thing is they're all relative. So the blog posts, this would have started in 2001.
Yeah.
Because of the present day, whereas notes would have only started maybe 2 years ago, I think.
I see.
So I mean, really, there should be maybe there should be a big gap there, like just a flat line.
I think it would be better because then at least.
Especially in the stacked view, where there's the implication that they're all the same axis,
Yeah.
right? Where time starts at the same point on the left-hand side.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I should make the minimum date just be the same for all. Like whatever the first thing ever posted is probably a blog post. Make that the start time. Yeah, for all of them. Yeah, that might take a little work, but one of the things was when I was doing it today, I was kind of hacking it together. Initially, I was grabbing this information live from the database, just to make sure it would work. But then, to get a production ready, I had to make sure I wasn't doing that every time somebody hit the page. So it grabs the information when I post anything. It creates a JSON file, stores it on the server. Which is kind of paving the way for me to have flat file backups and everything.
But if you store it on the server anyway, why wouldn't you just store the result like this?
Yeah.
The SVG.
I was thinking I could just store the HTML rather than just store the JSON, but I kind of feel like I want to be able to tweak the HTML without.
No, you don't need the HTML, just this image. So you would run this somehow on the server, perhaps, and then the SVG image you would just store.
Oh, I see. No, well, because the SVG image is always created on the fly with that script. I see what you mean. To actually draw with each point. Yeah, because I don't know how. No, maybe that would be nice. Because then I could inline the SVG as well. Yeah, which I would prefer, because right now I have to use embed. If you're doing this funky stuff with script, you can't just say image source equals this SVG. It won't let the script. You can't inline it. It has to be something like a dev object. And that's leading to some nasty style things, how different browsers treat them. So yeah, I would prefer to generate the SVG with the actual points, like draw this line.
On edit or after edit.
Exactly, to generate that. That would be ideal, really. Maybe that could be the next step. Yes, that's me.
I can do a quick demo.
This is my home
One thing I do, we talked about homepages, is there's very different approaches between do you put a stream, do you not put a stream of recent posts. We also talked about do you put like a bio, how much of a bio or tagline do you put? And there's lots of difference of opinions, which is great because we all own our own homepages and we can do whatever we want. But I felt sympathetic to all the arguments, and so I have my face and name at the top, so like, yeah, you're at the right place, and then a small tagline, and then a longer description and other organizations I'm related to, recent blog posts elsewhere, that kind of thing. But one change that I think Barnaby either observed or suggested was to put icons for the affiliations, and so I made that change. This used to say I am colon and then like founder at IndieWebCamp and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I just dropped the heading and just select the icons. And so I don't know. I don't think I do. Somewhere I probably have a cached version, but can't show you the before after. But the other thing I did, which I thought was more interesting, is that watch the tagline here as I shrink into sort of narrow screen view, aka mobile or whatever. Just that. There. I don't know if you guys saw what happened, but I'll grow it again. So you get this and more shows up. The entire, like all the bio, the second column that was on the side is now down below. So if you're reading this and you go like, well, is this really the person I'm looking for? What's the more? And then you can see the rest of the bio. So that's my hack around, since the bio is out of sight, is that if that's what your eye wants to follow and read instead of the stream, then you can go with that. So Jeremy told me that technique is called responsive content, apparently, where
Showing and hiding the content.
Showing and hiding the content, like in this case, showing content when it's smaller because you want like a little hook to link to the stuff that you moved out of the way, which is otherwise visible, and therefore I don't need a link. So, like I said, it's a small demo. Sometimes those details are fun to get right. It's like, okay, one more thing I fixed on my site. And that's it.
All right, who's next? I can do a very short demo.
Very short demos are definitely appreciated.
So let's see if this does thing. There it goes. So I had intended to work on my homepage design. However, I did not do anything of the sort. And I did totally other things instead. I found a few bugs on my site that I fixed. One of them is I have records of all of my sleep, and they had stopped importing when I came here. And I was like, that's suspicious. What is going on? And it turns out, you're never going to guess, it was the umlaut. Something somewhere was trying to interpret the page, and that was throwing it off, and the whole thing crashed.
Are you on memory kills?
Apparently. I thought I'd been handling that pretty well, but I think there was some part of the process that I missed. What I ended up doing was I ended up having my sleep import script not send the city name at all, because that was where the problem was. And instead, it just sends the latitude, longitude, and when my site gets a post with the latitude and longitude, it then looks up the city name and stores it, and now it works fine. Which meant I added that part to my micropub endpoint, where now, if you give it a lat long in a post, it'll geocode that and turn it into a city name and store it with the post. And that works fine with whatever characters you give it. So that was one of the things I did, and then it properly imported the last couple nights of sleep, which And the other thing was Barnaby and I worked on the PHP parser a bit and fixed some bugs, closed some issues. That was great. And then I had been planning on participating in a SWAT 0 demo. So what I ended up doing was I ended up hacking together an IndieWeb reader in IRC. So this is my IRC interface. And it's actually a website that connects to my IRC client. There we go. So you'll notice there's like there's Hacker News in here. This is literally how I read Hacker News, is through IRC. But I made this channel on my private server, which is now following several people in this room. And these are people's posts that they've just posted. So now I get notifications when people are is effective, apparently. But I think I like that photo. So I will say exclamation point like, and there's a post. So I made a post on my site. Food and drink from my client. So the last coffee I posted was posted from IRC, and yeah. So now I have a IndieWeb reader built into IRC that I can post to my site from. Yeah, I think that's it.
Actually successfully doing the demo that I tried to do yesterday and failed. So I didn't get quite as much. Maintained and doesn't really work very well. So yeah, I tried to create a pure data micropub client, and it didn't work. And I tried another solution for this, and it also didn't work. So I ended up not having the smooth UI that I wanted. But it doesn't matter that much because I don't do this very often. So I'm quite happy just typing everything in manually. So this is what I have to type in manually now if I want to live stream something from my site. So maybe one of the remote participants, when I'm going to post this note in a second. Hold on, I'll start the stream. Now, okay, so this should be streaming. This stream should exist. Let's just check that it does indeed exist. Yep, it exists. So I can now post this note on my site. And maybe one of the remote participants can go, because we'll get a bunch of feedback if we try and use it in here, but maybe one of the remote participants can go to my site once this is eventually posted and try listening to the live broadcast. And that should then work once this is eventually posted. I don't know why it's taking so long.
I just saw it in my reader.
You just saw it in your reader. Okay, so it's posted, it's just taking a long time to load. So that means that I can do the fun musical stuff, which I tried to do yesterday. And then because I got archiving working again, we'll actually be able to hear it in here as well. So let's try that. Hold on, I've forgotten how this works now. Okay. Rose, rose, rose red, will I ever see thee wed? I marry that you may when thou art dead. Rose, rose, rose red, will I ever see thee wed? I marry that you may when thou art dead. Okay, so then I stop streaming, and now I can look on my server, and yeah, this is the kludgy bit. I can look on my server now and see that I have this new file. So what I can do is copy this file to somewhere which is public on my server. So this. Oops, oh, that's wrong. Okay, so I'll copy that there. And make sure it's readable. And then this file should exist on my site. So now I have this note, that whilst I was doing the recording, this live stream should have been working. Now it's stopped. The audio element has stopped working, but I can now go in here and edit this and find this file, which is there, great, and then update the source attribute of the audio element from the live stream, which no longer exists, to the archived stream, and then save it. And now this note should be updated, and we should be able to listen. Hold on, I'll just close this to make sure it doesn't interfere with anything. So now we should be able to listen to this. Now, okay, so this should be streaming. This stream should exist. And it works. Just check that it does. So now we can skip forward. Hold on, how do I've forgotten how this works now. Okay. Rose, 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 red, will I ever see thee wed? I marry that you marry when thou art dead. Rose, 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 will I ever see thee wed? I marry that you marry that you marry. So it apparently works. So it's not quite as smooth as I'd like it, but it works, so I don't care. And the other really small thing that I wanted to demo as well, which I think is pretty cool, is as Aaron helped me demo, I just changed my profile photo because Eula takes incredible photos. Like, I think this is really the best photo anyone's ever taken of me. So I set it as my profile photo, but I've been posting on my site for like 6, 7, 8, I don't know how many years now. And it would be really weird if my content from 6 years ago had this profile photo still attached to it, because I didn't look like this then. So my profile photos are now dated, and each the URL for each individual photo is stored with each post. So if I go back and look at the previous post, then well, the previous post I set it already. So it was, if we go back one more, then that has my old profile photo on. And this goes back years. I've only started changing them recently, but yeah, they will always stay the same profile photo now. So yeah, that's my demo.
What do you do with photos of others? So if I like,
I'm just hot linking them at the moment. I need to build some kind of a proxy. But then when as soon as you build a proxy, then this functionality comes free, because then I'm proxying it every time, or I guess it depends on exactly how you store it. But
so what I do is I have a cache like endpoint URL, and then I just add question mark URL some image, and then the first time, if it's not there yet, then I just download it and resize it what I want to, and then it's there for forever. So the next time it will just get.
Okay, but and then if they change their profile photo,
then it's still cached
until you update it. Okay.
The great thing is that if you're using HTTPS, then hot linking doesn't quite work.
Okay.
Because you always see if you have something from another site which isn't HTTPS.
Yeah.
Yeah, but with this cache thingy, it always gets.
Yeah, and that's a problem on my site as well, which is another one of those cases.
Anything else? Or else I'm going to threaten to give another quick demo. Go for it. Okay. So one thing I've been working on is passing all of the webmention.rocks tests, something that Aaron did not mention that he got working in the last week.
Oh,
Right?
yeah, mostly last night. I mean, 2 nights ago.
Well, that was the
No.
updates.
Yeah.
But all the, like webmention.rocks is basically about 1 week old. It's this amazing site for validating your web mentions if you're a web mention sender. And there's a whole bunch of tests, like 21 tests to make sure you're discovering web mention endpoints properly. It caught lots of bugs and lots of libraries, and lots of libraries got fixed. It's very cool. But what I got working was web mentions in sending web mentions from the content of my posts. So here's one of my posts. This is one of my storage files. I guess I can try to make that bigger. Let's see. There. You can kind of see. I store my posts as H entries. And so these are it's just a post in the content. And it's got links to a content web mention just directly to Aaron's post. And then all 21 tests, which I copied and pasted from the homepage of webmention.rocks. So I've saved that to my site, and then my posting interface loads the next post I'm about to send, and it shows every single URL it's going to be mentioned and what web mention endpoint it's going to hit. So it's really handy I did that for debugging purposes. So this is all new, the fact that I can see, oh, it's going to do a mention of IndieWebCamp, but there's no Twitter handler, so there's no web mention there. It has a mention of webmention.rocks, but there's no handler at the root, so it's not going to do anything. That's Aaron's web mention endpoint. He's using webmention.io to delegate it to. And then here are all the tests. And I was able to check to see, okay, is this going to actually web mention the right test for every single test? And that's it. So now when I push tweet it, it passes it to Twitter, pushes it, and sends all the web mentions. And so let's see if this works. So it is synchronously doing all the web mentions. Like the server is doing it completely synchronously. It doesn't return until it's done. So hopefully it will actually complete before it times out in the browser.
Go pull up. Oh, never mind. You're right, it's done.
Okay.
I was going to say go pull up test 21 so you can watch them come in real time.
Oh, okay. So look at Discovery Test 21. It has a bunch of likes, comments. This is from before, and then, ta-da! It made it through. And if we look at, I think we can click through here, right?
Yeah, I mean, I have some work to do on that, apparently.
So I mentioned there too. So there you go. I got web mention sending in my content working with some amount of sort of debugging code in the posting UI. But, I find that handy. So if I link to one of your sites and I know that you support web mentions and it doesn't show that I'm about to send it one, then I know, oh, there's a bug somewhere where I can't find your web mention endpoint, and then I can go try and debug that. So that's useful for me as a developer and a community person. So there we go. Got that working. Anything else? Got lots more notes. Come on, guys. You got mentions back again. You want to show it? Some of us don't even have receiving working yet. I don't have receiving working.
Your website is more advanced than templates.
Show it off. We should.
So I received 3 web mentions. That's it. No, it's not broken. I use IndieWebCamp, and this library doesn't follow links on the link to your homepage.
And my H card linking to Logic is the H card users and my first. So this is a post on your site. You're using WordPress?
Processwire.
Processwire?
Yeah.
Very cool. And it has a plugin, or is this built in?
No. Last year in Düsseldorf, I wrote a little plugin to push to Twitter. Okay. I got this working with the latest version of Processwire. I can create a new tweet or node, select a category. Can attach an image. Can add a location. Yes.
Nice.
Now it shows up here. And hopefully as well here. Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
So is that what you got for today, or is that what you have?
I started this last year, but updated the CMS, but not the module. So.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
But on the web mentions post.
I started this all as well last year, but didn't get it to work. Now I could receive a mention.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. So that's when I got to this point, that's when I started using
I don't use Pritchie without Pritchie.
Yeah, but I'm saying is, so you got a proxy to Twitter.
Yeah.
So when somebody likes it on Twitter or replies on Twitter, that you will see that as a web mention.
Yeah.
To use, but that's all I use Pritchie for. I don't use Pritchie
to
post, just so it does that translation. Like Twitter and Facebook and back feed, that's a stack feed.
Oh, yeah.
Which you can now accept.
That's right.
Got that. So now you can just go to Pritchie or however URL, and sign up with Twitter, and then you should just, if someone favorites that tweet, it'll just pop up on the site. You've done all the legwork now to have the end of it, see what you do. That's it. Now it's actually people favorite stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much the same shape that my site is.
Yeah.
Receiving but not really sending money. You come to this one, right?
Yeah.
You guys mentioned sending.
I'm thinking that not really a demo of what I did today, but more of a call to action, because what what's used at Naupia about rendering complex web mentions. There are some pretty exotic types of complex web mentions. And what I do with my web mention endpoint, since it's hard to get everyone to mention you all of the time, to like get Tantec to mention you, get Aaron to mention you, so why not fake that they mention you? So what I did is that I built this this little Node module, Node Web Mention Testing. I built this many years ago, and in there are templates, which are they're both some cross-site scripting templates and some basic like replies, and it even has some mention stuff in it. But then it also has copies of really old copies you see from May 2014 of Tantec site. And what one do to use this is that one just installs it using npm, and then one runs web mention test pinger, specifies where the endpoint that it should ping to and the target. And this is run locally so that one can't spam people. And what would be great is if that everyone that sent web mention or are about to send web mention could actually do a pull request here. Because it's fairly simple to do pull request here. You just take a copy of one of your sites, of one of your posts, and then the mention target you replace with http://example, blah, blah, blah. And then my script will replace this with whatever one in here. So it's basically a way of getting this to run. Perhaps I can actually even show you how it. I think I have my. Okay, this is really small. Let's see. Here. Okay, so let's run the test pinger, and you see that it does a bunch of requests. It shows that it has pinged it, fetched it, and then whenever all the pings has been done and all the fetches has been done, it returns and exits with a success code, and if it doesn't succeed, it exits with a fail code. So a really simple way of getting all of the people to mention your site, and it would be great if we could get more examples of weird HTML in there. It's actually part of the test suite of my web mention endpoint as well. Yeah.
I will show mine because I have to respect the adapter. There's not much to show, not much to tell. So I want to start my own website. I don't have one, and I wanted to go the Jekyll and Hyde way. And hope you can't see anything. Okay. Oh, let's schnell sehen. Gut. Okay. First thing I did, as mentioned, go to GitHub. GitHub is fine. I followed exactly their instructions and got here. So they say, do the famous hello world. And then I tried to do some Jekyll stuff, and I thought GitHub had some Jekyll integration. So I only had to push a button and write all my things in, and no, it's not that way. You have to install your Jekyll locally, and Jekyll depends on Ruby. And I got Ruby installed, it's okay. Then I have installed some of the gems and install. And then I was very happy. So you say Jekyll block, and he creates the whole structure with basic things. And I got to this one. So you can upload this to your web space, and you see it, and it's working quite well. You have an RSS feed. You can put on this and you should see something. Yeah, this is the basic thing they send you. It's slightly modified. And then I talked to Pelle, and he told me there is a template on GitHub. Use that. And I wanted to do this in my local Jekyll. And Jekyll says, no, I need a new plugin. Okay, then I install the plugin, and the plugin says, yeah, I need a newer Ruby. I got to Debian, and they said, no, we don't have that new stuff. We only have the old stuff.
Yeah,
So I did a bit fiddling around and copying around, so I don't get any errors, as you see, but get a bit of the IndieWeb stuff, and I got here.
And it's so sweet. Does the template have microformats?
Yeah, if you see in the...
It's IndieWeb, it's Michael Bess,
yeah.
IndieWeb
H card. So some of the things you need are in there. That's a nice starting point. And then I got so tired and said, okay, it's no picture of me, but looks nice. And so the basics are laid. And I think, by the way, it was and is lots of fun going that way. Going very pure way, you don't have to care about, you have to care about the Ruby version, but not about the WordPress version, the version of the plugins, what plugins you have, how they were programmed, how they were hacked. You don't have to care about that. You can focus on what you want to present, and you have to learn HTML. I'm more the backend guy, not the frontend guy, so I have to learn more than others, but that's fun too. And you get a smooth running site, and it has some advantages. You can upload it everywhere, and maybe you can run it locally. It's completely the same. You can put it on an electronic business card. It's the same, and so it's very movable. It's very adaptable. I think I like it, and I'll try this way, go this way, into my own site, new site on this.
So just at the start of today, you did not have a website.
Right.
And now something running
from
a HTTPS.
Okay. What's even more, as I started today, I didn't have Ruby problems. Now
yeah, that's awesome.
Okay, that's my day today.
It's not awesome that you have it's awesome
So I have to go now. So it was super fun, and yeah, next year or something.
Oh.
See you again.
Good seeing you, Jay.
Okay,
See you
bye.
again. Bye.
Not Düsseldorf. It's too soon.
Too new for my old book.
Come to Portland then.
I only remember. No problem. Yes, very good. On the website. Wow, okay. Yeah, hello. My name is Stefan. Today is my first day to check up my own website with WordPress. And I'm thanks for 2-3 guys. They said to me some good information about to do the website. And here's the first website with WordPress. I'm absolute newbie. I search for plugins, and I search social plugins. I see it's very easy to make a website because the top level
domain I booked for me Tuesday this week on Tuesday, and now there's a little project from my own.
Fantastic.
Ich bin selber überrascht. Ich weiß nicht, wie das auf Englisch heißt. I'm surprised. And I make the photo with my mobile and put it on the website and share it with my son per WhatsApp, and I see it works. And I'm very happy. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Tom, go on, show going offline.
How about that?
Okay. My name is Tom. I'm web rocker on Twitter. My personal homepage is webrocker.de, as you maybe can see here. Should I bring it up? And this basically is a WordPress website, which I run on WordPress since like August 2005, I think. And it's my own theme, and everything is like hacked together. And last year I enhanced it with the IndieWeb actions with the plugins from Matthias Pfefferle. So the website already is out web mentions, which is very useful today to like test what Stefan was doing and what Frederick was doing. So perhaps you have seen my picture coming up on their sites. And what I wanted to do today is to get this thing basically working with a single service worker to get it offline. And I was very surprised how easy it is, thanks to the job that Jeremy has already done. And so yeah, this is the start page, which is basically a flow of posts I did recently. And since I'm online now, everything is stored inside the cache. And if I deactivate that and hopefully reload it, you see it's still there. So nothing has changed. And if I go to the page that I wasn't before, in fact, I was there before, so the text version is in the cache. Somehow the web fonts are already also in the cache, which is surprisingly, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. It's
the browser has a lot of control over that.
Yeah. And as you can see, I also was inspired by your placement image for the offline stuff. So here are no images. But if you go back, this image was cached, so it's still there. So basically all the images that have been loaded while I was online are still in there. And I think this is incredibly cool. And this is my interim offline page. So actually, I wanted to check, because this image is always in the cache. I forced the cache to take this in. This is not, but somehow it is. So it's very confusing what is actually happening there. And interestingly for me is as a web developer, I always try to circumvent the caches while developing. And if you do that with the service worker and being offline, you really have no connection at all. And this is somehow surprising, but I think it is to be expected. And if you normally reload, so it's there.
For a while, there was a voting problem with just having developer tools open was enough to make it be properly offline.
Okay.
So trying to debug the service work was just like really frustrating.
I think this is what happened to you. You know,
Yeah.
that you having the developer tools to check that you always wanted to have the non-cache version.
Yeah, you can check the stable caches. Developer tools are open and they have that. Yeah. So,
Yeah. And another thing I did today was to implement the manifest file, because yeah, kind of also inspired by what you said yesterday. So if somebody of you have an Android phone and would like to visit my website and reload it a couple of times, perhaps this add to homepage thing will appear. I can test it because right now here I have no Android phone. I will test it if when I'm back in Frankfurt at our Open Device Lab, because there are enough Android phones there, hopefully, when I come back. So yeah, this took me a while to implement, but I'm very lucky that I'm very happy that it works, that it worked. And another thing I did was while testing around with the web mentions that my site sent out to like Frederick's site, I noticed that the link back to my page was not the home page, but my contact page. And I was wondering for a while what was happening there. And it turned out that I had this little link here. Am I online or offline? This little link here is /contact. And I marked that up as an H card. So the resulting page for my post that sent out the web mentions referred to that, obviously, and that I found very annoying. And so I played around and thought it would be best if this link back to my homepage would actually act like this H card thing. So I have the link there, and what I was finding is that this thing over here isn't actually. Where's the developer thing? Come on. My developer tools are gone. Yeah. Anyway, this whole thing over here is an SVG file and has a link embedded in the inline SVG file. And so the first attempt was to take that markup of the H card down here and put it on here on that link, which did not work because the href attribute in the SVG file is xlink whatever. And the interesting thing is I tried to adjust the markup and tested with the IndieWebCamp parser, and it always said, well, we found your H card, but it's not the how's it called, the representative H card. Something is missing, and we tested. Okay, and then Jeremy came up with the idea to put a normal href attribute next to the xlink attribute, and this didn't work out as well. And we tried around, and then I said, okay, I have this SVG file around it, so perhaps that's the H card, and so I can use the link with the URL attribute, and that actually did work. And then we talked to Barnaby, and he said, oh, well, I like tested, and it should work the other way, and I reverted the changes, and then it worked. So it also is kind of, okay, I'm happy that it works, but there's a little bit of magic and voodoo feeling around that. But, yeah. But the cool thing is, as soon as I adjusted that, I made some changes to this post where I web mentioned all the people, and immediately the changes was there, so no more slash contact on that page. Yeah. And the third thing was I helped Stefan a little bit with his WordPress page, and this is one of the, for me, the most impressive progresses here, starting from scratch, from nothing, to have your own page there.
Yeah.
Very cool. So, yeah, that was my day.
Excellent.
Thank
You now have a progressive web app.
Wow.
It's all practice.
So that's just demo one more thing, collaboratively with Tantec, just to show how easy it is to actually add this indie config part.
I did it during the demos.
Yeah, during the demos.
After Molly's demo.
Yeah, and it probably won't be as complex as it was for Tantec with all the rest. So now Tantec has these here, and if I press like, it will go to Quill. If I have something that I don't have a configuration for, it will fall back to that. And if I actually go in here and remove this, reload, there's some caching, and it will fall back to Twitter. So just putting in the 2 lines of JavaScript actually worked.
And changing your content security policy.
And changing your content security policy. If you have a content security policy, and removing the Twitter JavaScript.
The Twitter JavaScript.
Yeah.
So, yeah, 2 interesting problems we ran into. One was I had my CSP content security policy dialed in pretty tightly, where I only allowed scripts from my site and like platform.twitter.com. And also only allowed embed frames from like a few very specific places. So because the way that IndieConfig works is that it loads an iframe of the person that's using it. So, for example, if any one of you were using IndieConfig, it would load an iframe of your site dynamically on my site to see if it can actually talk to it.
Yeah, I don't know if you use a post message to send a piece of JSON up to the original site.
So that was getting blocked by my content security policy. So if you want to allow IndieConfig for indie actions like that, for those buttons to work across sites, then you have to do child source star, frame source star.
Yeah.
And I'm just about to document that on the wiki.
And if you don't, then you can at least register your IndieConfig now, because then you can at least respond to Tantec and my site.
So we're getting close to be able to get like, the reply thing is huge, because that's something that I think the user experience of trying to reply to a post from your own site is you copy the URL, you have to go to your own site, you have to paste the URL. It's just not as easy as clicking reply. And so what Kelly showed was very quick, but that's because it's supposed to be quick. You click reply on one site, you end up on your site or your tool to reply, and just like you want it to work. Yeah.
And could we mention also that this only works in Firefox and Chrome right now, because neither Safari or Internet Explorer has bothered to implement the register protocol handler, which this is based on. But there are some issues posted in different places which you can go and support. If you use Chrome and Safari, Chrome and Firefox, it will work.
Okay. I think we're all done.
That's it.
All right. Awesome. Thanks, everyone. Awesome demos.
Yeah.
As you can see, obviously.
So, thus endeth the IndieWebCamp. Who's coming to Düsseldorf in a few weeks? All right, excellent. Wow. Yeah, so we'll see each other again. Yoshi, thank you very, very much.
Yes, thank you, Yoshi.
It's really, really awesome to have you here.
So not only did Yoshi host IndieWebCamp in Nürnberg, the first of hopefully many, but he basically did it all by himself with help from the staff. right? And good people, Tom and Yuli, our photographer. Where is she? Did she disappear? You're right here. Thank you. Yuli took amazing photos. Perhaps the best photos. So this is a huge effort. Normally it takes like a volunteer team of 3-4 organizers to put together a new webcamp and run it, and then volunteers in addition to that. Yoshi did it basically by himself. I mean, myself, Aaron, Jeremy, we just showed up and helped participate because we've helped run these before, but we didn't do anything with any of the work beforehand. That was all Joshi. So this was a tremendous effort that we all should all recognize.
I would like, at this point, I would like to mention our sponsor again.
Definitely.
Who sadly isn't here right now, but maybe you could like shout out on Twitter or something. OpenSUSE is the handle, and they would certainly be very.
So it's just at OpenSUSE?
Open, yeah, exactly.
Okay, so you say thanks to them for
exactly.
sponsoring.
I did it already, but
great. Okay, you know how to clean up? Who's going to Düsseldorf?
I just asked that.
Just taking a beautiful video.
Yeah, I think we're going to do that on our own, but it's not.
You have much practice now.
Yeah.
All right, then let's go get a beer.
You have to.
Good idea. You could grab the first one just right here.
Yeah. I don't need to adjust it.
That's great. All the others, if you would like to, you could grab beer. Plenty of it. So thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Oh, nice.